really have to re-say it all?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, a log plus a log is actually
Log times
multiplying because logs represent exponents.
Two logs.
But the key thing when you subtract, this is the one I have messed up. Subtraction
Is
is
zero.
division, but it's not two separate logs like I've crossed out here. It becomes one log with a fraction in it. Okay, you cannot do this. Yeah, you'd have to change the bases to make them common, or you can't work the problem. No, you're not going to get any with mixed bases.
Did we have to do this last year?
What? Okay, and then the big rule, the one that gives us all the power to solve all our equations we're going to solve exponential-wise, is, yes, you can take a power and multiply it out front of the log. So it actually, you're allowed to move it down front, and that's our log rule. So we log and plug many things. Okay, so practicing with just our basic rules here, these three rules. If I said take the log base 7 of x minus 2 plus the log base 7 of 2x minus 3.
You're going to multiply.
Thank you.
Boil.
Whoa, just let people think a minute.
I got a question. We don't need to let people think a minute. They know they're doing. The bases have to be the same.
The bases always have to be the same.
Move the x up front on the back one.
Okay, so
Why is there a 2 out front?
okay, that's what we're going to talk about, but let's do, okay, right,
Oh, move it out back.
the left side first, since it's added, you said I should do what? That's the top rule, first rule, and so I need to multiply them, and yes, you literally need to boil them together. So that's going to be 2x squared
Minus 3x minus
4x plus 6. I literally multiply them together. We'll clean them up in a minute.
Whoa.
Now, what you're shooting for is you want to get down to where you have one log on each side of the equal sign. You have a log with the same base. That way we can drop them off and we can just set the arguments equal. So you don't want numbers in front of your log. So how do I get rid of the 2? Yeah, I can use this rule in reverse, and I can take the 2. If I don't like it here, I can move it back up here as a power.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm talking to you now.
So now the idea is we have same log, same base. You technically don't cross them out. You just drop them and you set the arguments equal. I'm going to add this together, so that's really 2x squared minus 7x plus 6 equals just plain x squared. And now it's a normal algebra problem.
Whoa, so you did what? Subtract.
Subtract x squared.
Yeah, subtract x squared and solve it.
You set it equal to 0?
You set it equal to 0 and solve it like every other quadratic we solve.
If you have a log plus like a log with a number out in front, but you add that together in your
You have to always get rid of the number in front.
-6, -1. No, it's positive. No, it's not.
I'll buy his negatives.
No, it's not. You guys are wrong, because you got to make a -7. Yeah.
No, it's positive 6, because when you take the x plus 6 equals
But
0.
the 2 negatives make a positive. Because you got to end up with a negative 7.
Oh, I said
I'm talking down below.
Oh, okay. He was talking positive.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
You have to go back and check to make sure that they would make you have positive numbers in your log. So you have to go, if I put 6 in here, would 6 minus 2 be positive?
Yeah.
Is 6 in there positive?
Yeah.
And 6 over here by itself?
Yeah.
Okay, but is 1? Guys, there are other 2 classes on either side of us don't want to hear you. No, but not his whole class. We just hear him. So the 1 is
So
gone.
if it doesn't work in 1, it does.
You can. The other answer is good. X equals 6 is fine. 1 is not a
So the
solution.
answer is
The answer is 6. Yes.
wow, that's so cool.
Why would you not add 1?
Because if you put 1 up here, 1 minus 2 would come out negative. You can't can't have log of a negative. Let us try another one. And another one. And another one.
Can you come back, please? Yes, for sure.
No, this one is not really long.
Okay.
It's not as long as that one. But this is the kind that always get people to mess up. This one's actually pretty short and sweet. But what should worry you when you look at that problem? What should you notice is different?
There's an X in there too.
Oh, hi.
You're gonna be dividing the X by 2.
Okay. That we yes, on the left side we have a log minus a log, so we can divide. But on the right side you have a log. It's just a number. There is no log over here, so how we work it at the end is different.
Yeah.
But yes, you still need to get it down to one log first.
It's gonna be X over 2.
It's going to be X over 2. Now here's where it goes different.
Multiply by 3.
You have a log on only one side, so what do you do? Back to exponential form. So if I go to exponential form, what's the base?
4.
Base is 4. What's the exponent?
3.
3 is the exponent. Logs equal their exponent. So that's 4 cubed equals
X over 2.
X over 2. So in other words, 4 cubed is 64. And oh no, how do I solve for X?
Times by 2.
I times by 2, and I would get X equals 128. Okay, do I need to check? You need to ask yourself, if I put 128 in for the X, would it be positive?
Yes, it would.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
So that's your solution. The key thing is watch whether you have logs on both sides or just one side. Okay, now I have people who do this and get lazy, and this will cost you big time. I have people who would look at that problem and they go, oh, I should divide, and they'll write X over 2 equals 3, and they don't want to take the time to write the logs down.
Yeah, don't do that, because then you screw up.
Yeah, you'll mess it up. If you try to drop those logs off immediately and never write them, you will mess up the problem. Because that's going to give you 6. You didn't have to change the exponential form. You cannot stop writing logs early until you truly have gotten to the point that you can legally drop the logs out.
You only missed one point.
You would miss all the points for not doing all the silly stuff.
Yeah, you failed.
Okay, well, this is the wrong way to do it. I have people who will go, oh, divide, X over 2.
No, I'm talking right there. That's what, right down there, that you read all that stuff.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm confused when I got from step 3 to step 4. From step 2 to step 3.
We changed to exponential form. We rewrote our log back as an exponent. We wrote base to the power
Right.
equals X over 2. And that's why anytime you see a log on one side, I'm going to write this 52,000 times probably. I can't get that to stick.
Yeah, I got that right.
Okay, so this is wrong. Don't stop writing logs immediately or you will mess up the problem. It'll get you. And I'm wondering, was that the voice of experience talking? Did you do that last year? Write your logs too early?
I was just exaggerating what you were saying.
Here, I thought you had an actual point for me.
No, not really, I don't think.
Wait, where did you get this from? Oh, yeah, okay, no, never mind. I got it.
It's sweet calculator.
Okay. Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if I give you the same type of problem, not much difference, except I throw natural logs in.
Oh. Put me in it.
Not yet.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. First, you have to use your properties, and you have to get it down to one log.
Multiply. So X squared.
So you're adding it when you times
So
it, right?
since I'm adding, I would really multiply, and I would get X squared plus 3X.
Then equals
Okay.
to,
Once you get it down,
on both sides,
yeah, you remember this?
Yeah!
Yeah.
This is the easiest part of the whole chapter.
Yeah.
This is the part I actually remembered last year.
Okay, so yeah, the easiest way to get rid of a natural log is to use an e. And so you'll remember what we did is we actually took and put an e underneath it and raised this up as the power. But if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. You have to raise both sides to an e. It seems weird, but why does it work?
Because it gets rid of your natural log.
E and natural log cancel,
Because math is weird.
and so you're left with x squared plus 3x equals e squared.
Why were we allowed
So
to do
then it's
that?
like 7.
As long as you do the same thing to both sides.
We can literally just raise it to a power.
Yeah, I could even do this. If I gave you x equals 3, I could tell you that 4 to the x equals 4 to the third. As long as I do the same thing to both sides, that is legal. You can do that.
The same thing.
As long as you're doing the same thing, you can do it.
It's proportional.
So you may put a base number under something if you want to. It's legal. It's a little strange. You don't expect it. But with natural logs, it's your best system. Because
And you can't raise it. Move that over, right?
because e and natural log cancel. You want to get rid of the log. Because you didn't have a log over here. See?
So wait, now my question is though.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah, now you gotta solve the equation.
I haven't solved what's left yet.
You need to get E into a number, turn E into a number.
E to the second. Good.
How then what?
Why can you do the second is, L what? At 7.4?
Say, okay, why couldn't I just,
Up to,
why couldn't I just, I need what?
never mind, it doesn't make sense. Okay, whatever. I think
Okay.
I get it.
The other thing you can look at it as, you could say you're also going to exponential form, but that's slower and people tend to get confused over the 3. You can also say, oh, that's base e. If I go to exponential form, I would have e to the second power equals x squared plus 3x. Changing to exponential form is the same thing as what I got right there. So it works either way. If you want to change the exponential form, I do it.
Yeah.
But it's actually faster we use this using the e thing to get rid of natural logs. We're going to use it a whole bunch.
Are we gonna finish this problem?
Yes, we are. Now the question is, how do you finish the problem?
You gotta turn E into a number.
Because it's now quadratic. So normally we set quadratics equal to 0. And we try to factor. But are you going to factor it with an e?
No,
So you gotta
you
change
change
the
E
number.
to the number, then you.
But if you change it e to the number right now, then you're going to create rounding error because e is not an exact number.
So you use a quadratic formula.
Bingo! Yes.
Oh my God.
Wait, what happened?
Oops, I'm on the floor. She said, do we have to use the quadratic formula? That was my microphone, yeah. I tried sticking it. So,
How does that work though with the e squared?
okay. So what you're doing, if you're going to do quadratic formula here, A is 1, B is going to be 3, C, your constant number, is negative e squared. That's what C is. And you're just going to fill this in a calculator. You're just going to punch it in a calculator, so it's not that bad. So,
Do you have a plus or minus function? Oh, I bet I do.
so you can go, you're going to go, what now? Okay, so I'm doing negative b plus or minus. B squared is going to be 9 minus 4. A is 1, and when you do C, you just put in as negative e squared. All over 2 times 1. Now, I highly recommend you put this all in your calculator at once. Don't do it in pieces and parts. And I'll show you that. I would clean this up a little bit before I try to put it in my calculator. Since I have 2 negatives, that's actually 9 plus 4e squared over 2.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
I just multiplied that together. Then literally, you're going to type it in your calculator, once with the plus sign, once with the minus sign, you get two answers. Do I have, I need it on. What I do is I type it in once with the plus, and then I just go arrow up and copy it and change it to a minus, and you got it.
And you do the original, so you have to reduce it first.
You could do the original, but people have a tendency to get lost in all the parentheses, and they don't get it in right. So you don't have to simplify it. If you can put it in without simplifying it, I'm fine with that. It's just I tend to see people mess it up. So you are going to have to put a what on first when you do this. Fraction. So you would have to actually go, I'm pressing, oh, press menu. Screen, dude.
Got too much porn on there.
Okay. Fine. Menu. Calculator.
You got action.
I don't want actions. Escape. I just want to put in a fraction.
Hey, you got like 17 minutes.
I'm over.
You're way over.
I want to put this in fast. And I just messed it up. Okay, so I forgot it. Was it 9 3 plus? Negative 3 plus. You can put in 1. Square root of 9 plus 4 e squared, which is tiny. All over 2. Enter. Okay, then I have to go back the second time, go up and highlight it, and you have to go back and change it to a minus. You can't put plus and minus in at the same time. You can't put them both in at once. I don't have the problem. Negative 3 plus.
When you put the fraction thing in, you put plus and minus, and that works?
Okay.
Okay, so.